morning, friends. Today I am going to discuss with you a famous poem written by Robert Frost. The name of the poem is Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. This poem is written in 1922 and it was published in the year 1923 in Robert Frost's volume New Hampshire. This is a nature poem. In this poem, the poet discussed about the nature. Okay, we'll analyze this poem line by line. The first poem line: Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village though. The poet Robert Frost tells us that he was stopping near the woods and he was thinking about these woods, and he says, I know whose woods these are. He knows the person whose these woods are belonging, and he says his house is in the village. And in the next line he says he will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. Here in these next two lines the poet says, I am stopping near the woods of the person, but that person doesn't know or will not see me that I am stopping here. And he is watching the woods which are covered with the snow. And here the poet was stopping near the woods and watching the woods which are filled up with snow. In the next stanza, the poet says, my little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. In this stanza, the poet tells us that his horse is thinking that why my master is stopped here near the woods where there is no farmhouse. So, and this is the place where the poet stopped is between the woods and the frozen lake. And the time is the darkest evening of the year. So the time is also mentioned here, that the poet was standing near the woods in the time of evening. And this evening is very dark. So the little horse is also in confusion. So the horse is also thinking why his master is stopped here where there is no farmhouse. In the next stanza, he gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. In the next stanza, the poet says that the horse shake his harness bells and asks his master that is there any mistake or some mistake. Because of that mistake, my master is stopped near this farm, near these woods. There is no other sounds. The only other sounds is the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. Okay, there is no other sound, only the sound of the wind which is flowing on the snow. That is the easy wind and downy flake. Why my master is standing here? So, is there any mistake of my master? There is also confusion in the mind of the horse. So here the poet describes about the nature in the three stanzas. He describes about woods, he describes about the snow, and he describes about the lake. So, and he describes about the village. And in the last stanza, which gives us a philosophical meaning. In the last stanza, the poet says, "The woods are lovely, dark, and deep, but I have promises to keep." Here, the poet describes the woods are very lovely, the woods are very dark and deep. So, here it says that it compares to our life, that woods are compared to our life. Our life is very lovely, it is very dark, and it is very deep. But I have promises to keep. In our lifetime or in our life, we have given many promises to the people. So the poet says that I have given promises to many people, but I have to keep these promises. So, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Here, the poet says, I have given promises to the people, and before to sleep, I have to fulfill all these promises. Sleep here it means death. Before death, I have to complete all the promises which I have given to the people. So these lines are also written in our former Prime Minister's office, that is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru's office. He wrote these lines, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. Because in our lifetime, we have to achieve many goals. We have to complete our desires. So before our death, we have to complete, we have to fulfill, we have to keep all the promises which we have given to the people. So this poem gives us meaning about our life. What is life? So in our life, we have to keep the promises which we have given to the people. We have to complete the promises which we have given to the others. So we are not going to stop anywhere. Okay, we have to go ahead. We have to work continuously. Our work should be consistency in our work. We have to do our work. We are not going to stop. If you stop, then you will become like the water which is stagnant. And if it flows like a river, like a water which is flowing from one place to another place, then you are very happy and a good person. So this is a life. In your life, you are not going to stop anywhere. You have to fulfill all your dreams. You have to complete all your dreams. So you have to keep all the promises which you have given to other people. So this poem gives us a philosophical meaning of our life. And this poem is also a nature poem. How the Wordsworth has defined nature in his poem, like Robert Frost also described nature in his poems. There is a too much influence of William Wordsworth on Robert Frost. Okay, the poems of William Wordsworth inspires Robert Frost to write nature poem. So this is a very beautiful nature and philosophical poem of Robert Frost. I think all of you understood this poem, and if you like my lecture, subscribe it and share it to others. Thank you.